Hi, Walla here again for part 3 on the assembly of the hitting cage for the Virtual Simulator Optishot Ultimate Golf Package. So I've done a bunch of the steps already just to save time on the video, and I'm just going to show you where I am and what I have left to do to finish up this cage. So if you order one of these, what you find is you get all the metal fittings for all the corners and things. And so I'll show you what those look like in just a second. Alright, so here's the first of the fittings. This is at the open end of the cage on the bottom, and it's just a 90-degree. And you can see there are thumb screws or eye bolts that screw into these to clamp your 3/4 inch conduit in place, and the directions say don't tighten them too tight. So what I did was just tightened all of my screws up to finger tight, and then took a screwdriver, put it in the eye, and took them somewhere between a half and an additional turn depending on how it felt like with the individual conduit and the fitting. So at the open end you have that at the bottom, and you go up the top and you have a three-way, and I still have to put the cross piece across the front of the open end of the cage. And you have a bar that goes all the way to the back top. You can see it going to the back corner top. And you have one that goes all the way from the open end front, bottom to the back corner on the bottom. Same thing on both sides. So you can see I still need this cross piece in the front. I have that left to put in. And then we go to the back wall, which is the back end of the hitting cage where you hit into it, and you can see that I have covered all of my pipe conduit, the metal conduit, with 3/4 inch foam pipe insulation. And then I didn't really know what kind of tape to use on it, so I had some Tyvek tape around, and I taped down the seam on that and around it in a couple of places. And you can see that this even fits kind of around my screws with the slit in the insulation. So it's a pretty good package that way. When you hit a ball, if it would happen to hit one of these pipes, it's not going to off the pipe and come ricocheting back at you, you know. Insulation. Alright, so I have the one pipe left to put in, and I'll put that in. One tip is when you're ready to have a pipe put in like that, be sure you back out all the screws, because it makes it real easy to slip it in. And you kind of have to plan, because if you have a 10 by 10 by 10 space, you're going to have a hard time putting this together, because each of those corner pieces is about 5 inches long, and you have to fit it. It's kind of a puzzle. So what I did was I assembled the back wall first, and I have a 10-foot ceiling. The conduits are 10 feet long, so I had to cut about 2 inches off of each of those to accommodate the fittings, and that gives me a pretty tight fit up at the top and gives me the maximum clearance I can get in this room. So you open all the screws up, and then you can just slide the pipes in. So the next thing I did was put the bottom pipe, I leaned that against the wall, then I put the bottom pipe on each side, then I put this upright at the open end with a 90 at the bottom and my three-way at the top, finger tightened it, leaned it against the wall, then I slipped the side top piece in the far end while I was on a ladder, slipped it in here, tightened this end up finger tight, went down to that end, tightened that finger tight, and then tightened it with a screwdriver, and then did the same thing on this other side. So that gives me a pretty good tightening system. One other thing that I've done that I didn't talk about before is, if you look up on the ceiling now, I have a surge protector mounted in my outlet. So that's where my projector is going to plug in, and I wanted to make sure that that was surge protected, so I just put one of these screw-in mount surge protectors that replaces your faceplate on the wall plug. Okay, The other thing that I still have to do, and I'll cover that in another step, is the assembly of the mounting bracket for the camera and hanging the camera up and testing the camera to see if I have the right focal length. You do get in the camera manual dimension size tables that show you what your screen size is and what your spacing should be. So it shows you a diagram and then a table like this. It's all in millimeters, so I took that and converted my numbers from inches to millimeters and millimeters into inches. So I have that I can mount my projector a minimum distance of 99.7 inches from the screen and a maximum distance of 120 inches from the screen. So that's what I calculated out with my conversions that I did from this table provided for the projector that I'm going to be mounting on my ceiling that came with the package. So that'll be part 4, probably, well maybe not. Part 4 will probably be hanging the screen and putting the net up and the blackout panels up. One more thing that I've done is I have done the preliminary assembly on my screen. This is the impact screen laying on the floor. Directions say lay it out face down and then insert your PVC frame in this, and the PVC frame, like the back wall frame, is also lined with PVC pipe insulation. So here you can see the butt end of a piece coming out. And the directions say on one corner that's going to be the bottom corner that's an open end, there are 2 double-sided Velcro pieces that come with it. So those are stuck on this pipe insulation and stuck to the inside of this core. And then this the system comes with 12 straps, buckle type straps that you hook. And these go around the metal frame on the back wall and attach around the PVC with the foam insulation to the screen. The screen then is going to hang from the metal frame. And I have my screen basically assembled with the 4 PVC with insulation on it. And I have the straps. I still have 3 straps to put in on this side to finish the strapping system. And then I'll look at what my next step is. I think the next step is going to be to hang blackout panels on the outside of my frame, and then to hang the net inside the blackout panels, and then the screen should mount on this back wall so that you see the impact screen that you're going to project onto, and it's all hanging inside of your net and your back panel. So that's it for part 3. Look for part 4 coming up when I'm actually finishing the assembly of the hitting cage by hanging the net and the blackout panels and the impact screen. And then that'll finish my cage. That'll only leave the projector setup and the computer setup and my mat to install the Optishot optical sensor. And that'll finish my videos. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 4.